What's up, sucker? We're live back once again for another episode here on the couch at Edward's house. Oh, shit, watch out. Yeah, we did have a guest that was supposed to be here, another comedian, Joshua J. Nieto. We'll call him the Flake today for today's episode. But no, it rained, and he was going to come in from New Braunfels and stuff, and so he got caught up because of the weather. So he's not going to be in, but we're back. Once again, we're back. We made it through another round of COVID, I think.
That's what it was?
I think COVID and not just COVID. What did I hear? That R1N1. What was that? The swine flu, right?
I don't know, but I've been sick off and on for the past 2 months.
Dude, that's a lot of people, dude. I think it's that R1N1. I think that's a swine flu.
Yeah.
That went around and it's been getting people, but a lot of people were sick, like during Thanksgiving.
Yep.
And that's when it was hitting everyone. And I guess, and then when everyone got together, because I even got a little bit under the weather, a little bit, but shit. But you know,
yeah, I know you got me sick.
No, I didn't, fucker.
Yeah.
But a lot of crazy shit's been going on out there. It's better just to be at home anyway. Sick.
Like what?
Like all them shootings. They're shooting everyone every week. Cops shot someone again yesterday. The cops are winning right now.
The cops are shooting everybody, or people shooting?
No.
each other?
Everyone's shooting everybody, but the cops are getting in on the game.
Okay.
The cops have been getting their licks in too. They've been shooting someone every week. One or two people a week have been getting it. Sometimes even they have some good weeks and get like 3 or 4.
Some good aim.
Yeah, but I'm not saying it's the cops' fault because right now, man, a lot of people are asking for it, dude. A lot of people are asking for it. Did you see that dude that went off on that killing spree?
No.
He killed 6 people.
No.
That dude here, it started in, where did they say he lived?
How do you know about all the murders all the time?
Because it's all over the news, dude. It made world news.
It made world news?
It made world news.
San Antonio's making world news?
San Antonio made world news. They were calling it
yeah.
a deadly Texas killing spree. Because the dude started in San Antonio.
Yeah.
I don't know the whole story, but he started in San Antonio and he killed his parents.
Oh, shit.
Here. I think it's somewhere over
Is
there.
he a new serial killer?
The one in Austin?
The one here in San Antonio. Is he a serial killer? Or
No. I don't know if they consider him a serial killer or a spree killer.
Okay.
I think it was a spree killing.
What's the difference?
Spree killing happens all in a 1 or 2 day period, 3 day period like that. Serial killer is someone that over, I think, a certain period of time has killed
So
more
you
than...
can't kill too fast, or it's a spree.
I don't know. I could be wrong. But I think that there is a difference between a spree killing. I guess unless all of them were serial killers, but some of them just happen to do it in a spree. Maybe you could say it like that. But this dude was a spree serial killer then, I guess.
So if you do them like in a matter of minutes, you're a
spree killer.
No, you're a shooter. You're a mass shooter. If you do it in a matter of days, you're a spree. But if you do it over years, you're a serial killer, and that's the one that's most famous.
Well, not necessarily most famous. Columbine is pretty fucking famous too.
Yeah, but we don't talk about we talk about Columbine. We don't talk about the kids who did it. You know what I mean? Versus...
Yeah, we do. Klebold and Dylan.
I didn't even know their names.
Yeah, I do because I look at that stuff.
Yeah, okay.
No, but anyway, what we're getting at, this dude went and killed his parents and then got in his car and took off to Austin and killed 4 people in Austin. And I guess he shot 3 other people on the way because he killed 6, injured 9, but they caught him.
Yeah.
They caught him, and he's been all over the news, dude. He's got I've seen, I don't know, his head's kind of shaved, and he's got like a scuff on his forehead where I guess they fucked him up or something.
Yeah.
But they got him, and now they just keep adding new charges for, I guess, deadly conduct. And
How old was he?
I think he was, I want to say in his 30s. 30. I don't know. I want to say he looks like he's in his 30s.
I think people are losing their minds
Think?
at a higher rate, especially here in the United States. I think it's something in the water.
No, I don't think it's in the water. I think it's everyone doing drugs.
But you need the what? Maybe
you need the.
We've
water
always
for that.
done drugs, but now the water they're using in the drugs.
You know what I heard? No, you know what I heard? That they have changed the chemical makeup
of our food.
No, of meth.
Oh, okay.
Of meth, so that it's keeping you awake longer and it's creating more
zombies.
no delusional, hallucination because you're up, you're not sleeping more.
Yeah.
And it's creating that whatever they're putting in there, they've changed it so that you could stay awake longer. And that's when people are starting to fucking really, and then they party while they're awake.
Yeah.
And then they start freaking out even more and stuff. So
what's the longest you stayed up on meth?
That shit. I've never done that.
No, not on meth, but what's the longest you stayed up?
I don't stay up, dude. I go to bed. I'm a go to sleep guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I've stayed up till the sun's come up, and
yeah.
Well, actually, one time we fucking got up. We were on acid, we were taking acid, and that'll keep you awake too. We took acid, got all fucked up, and then my friends were doing coke though and acid,
Jeez.
but I was just drinking we were all drinking, and it was during spring break, and we decided to go to the coast.
Yeah, South Padre?
No, not South Padre, to Port A. Just like in the middle of the night, all fucked up.
Which is like, what, a 2-hour drive?
2.5 hour drive. Probably longer when you're all fucked up.
Yeah.
And I remember some dude, because we were at a bar, and we started talking about taking off to the coast from the bar, whereas we're taking shots, and we're all tripping. And they said, "Want to? Yeah, you got more ass? Yeah, and did you have coke?" And so on. People had coke and this and that, and there was like 4 of us, I think. And they were like, and then there was some other dudes, and they were like, "Yeah, okay, I want to go," and all this stuff. So we all jumped in my friend's car, and we went, and we said, I guess maybe they weren't doing coke yet because we stopped to get food. And if they were doing coke, they would.
I know a lot of people who go eat after doing cocaine. It's crazy.
Not like that. These dudes, none of them would have eat that at this point.
Oh,
I think we were just drinking at the bar and shit, and then we're gonna. And you don't even want to eat on acid either.
Yeah, acid.
So mushrooms. We must have just been drinking at this point, but we're getting all buzzed out, and we're gonna go to the coast. When we stop at McDonald's, and one of my friends gets out to take a piss on this side, and then that dude that just jumped in the car with us, I didn't even know who he was. He got out to take a piss on the other side.
In the drive-thru?
In the drive-thru.
Okay.
And my other friend gets back in and goes, "Take off." And that dude's outside with it. That said, "Oh, take off without her." And he's standing like the car's blocking him from the other people. And we drive off, and the dude's like walking, still trying to piss out by the car because we're moving slow. And he's laughing. And we take off, dude. And we just got on the fucking.
You left him there?
I didn't drive. Whoever was driving, I forgot who was even driving.
Yeah.
And we took off to the coast. That dude was in the drive-thru peeing, and we left him.
Damn.
So we took off to the coast.
But he wasn't part of the main crew. He was just
he was a dude that was at the bar that was with someone that we knew that was jumped in like, "I want to go too," and just started because we were the popular dude that were kind of wild and shit, and he ran into us and was like, "Wow, I'm fucking kicking it with these dudes."
Is this high school?
No, we're in our 20s.
Oh, okay.
And so he was there, hanging like, "Wow, I'm kicking it with these fucking dudes," and all that, and got all, "Can I go with you?" I was like, "I guess, dude." And then they were like, and then when we went through the drive-thru, they said, "Split, dude."
Yeah.
And granted, these dudes I was with are fucking maniacs, dude. He's probably lucky.
Yeah.
He really is probably lucky. I don't want to say any names, but it was the Silva brothers. I don't say which ones, the Silva family. And these dudes are fucking dangerous dudes.
Are they in prison now?
No.
Okay.
They're roaming the streets of San Antonio right now as we speak. But they're not as dangerous. They're older dudes. They're older than me.
Yeah.
But they're all just, benching 400-pound dudes,
Jeez.
Yeah, they all look like the Bad Boy Club dude that, and just for shits and giggles, when they would get fucked up, they would, at the apartment, everyone had apartments back then, they'd see who could punch the door off the hinge, and just punch closet doors off the hinge and shit like that.
Jeez.
And so we took off to the coast, man, and I remember going to the coast, getting there, renting a room. We get to the room. We try to buy beer and we couldn't because it's so early in the morning. So we went and ate breakfast. We're all drunk, and then turned around and drove right back. So we probably got back like at 1 and felt like shit, and then slept the whole next day. That's probably I've never gone and then I stayed up, and then that night we went out. No, I couldn't do it. It was over. One time Matt Spence, remember Matt?
Yeah.
Matt called me and said, "Hey, dude, you like Creed?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, you want to check him out in concert here in Houston, dude? I got 2 tickets right up front, bro, and just get over here and we'll go. And I was like,
oh, what open?
It was so I was like, fuck yeah. So people talk shit about Creed. That's one of those bands. That
I like Creed. I like Creed.
And what's the other one? Nickelback.
I do not like Nickelback,
dude. I can listen to their music. I saw them in concert.
I cannot listen to Nickelback,
dude. I saw and I would have. I don't drive around listening to jamming out. I would never buy their CD or whatever. But Bebo called me and said, hey, you want to go check out Nickelback, dude? I got second row.
You know, I like Creed because it's the only...
They're Christian and they're rock.
Well, no, it's the only music that I liked when they'd play music when we'd have like get-togethers for like the CCD stuff. That's the only music that... Because everything else was like specifically Christian music. But when it came out...
Christian music.
So it was... Yeah, exactly. And then Creed came out. I was like, oh, I hear that on the radio. I like this. That one and Hoobastank.
What about POD?
POD was all right to me.
But they were Christian too.
They were a Christian band, but they felt like the new age Christian rap, and I'm just like, nah.
I like
bro.
them. POD is good.
I didn't think it was bad, but when the song comes on, I'm like, let's see what else is on.
But when Matt called me and said, "Man, come to Houston," so it was.
I take it back. I like Youth of a Nation. Youth of a Nation was
from POD.
Yeah, that's the one I.
Yeah, that's a good song. So Matt says, "Get down here, we'll go." And it was like, I don't know, 1. It was like noon, and I took off over there. And Matt's a drinker, so we get there, and I guess we started drinking. We go to the concert. Matt just buys drinks. He's rich. He's just fucking buying drinks after drinks. It was a good show. After the show, we go back to his house. He's got a badass house in the Woodlands, and we went to a bar first. Yeah, we went to Naomi, if you're listening, that's Matt's wife. I think it wasn't my idea, but I think we went to a strip club. I think we went to a titty bar that night after the concert, and then we went back to the house. And then we were taking shots, like we were taking shots, and I had to drive back because I had to work too the next day. And we just were taking shots till it was like 6 in the morning or 7 in the morning. And I was like, dude, I got to get home. And I jumped in my Cadillac and drove back from Houston after I ate something and tried to sober up a little bit, and then jumped in the car and I had to get back. And I remember driving, dude, feeling like I was going to fall asleep behind the wheel and rolling all the windows down. I had the radio cranked up as loud as it could go, all the windows down, the AC on cold. And just trying to fucking be awake, dude. Like, oh shit, it was scary, dude. I remember that. And then getting home and laying there thinking they're gonna call me for work. And let me just rest a little bit. Maybe no one will call. And I made it through the whole day without anyone calling, but I didn't sleep.
Where were you working?
I was selling insurance, and so it was. I didn't have to be in an office. It was mobile insurance. I just would get a call. Hey, I need you over at this dealership to do a policy, or I need you over here. But if no one called, I was good.
Got you. So you had to be in San Antonio.
Yeah, I had to be available. Yeah. That's all. I just had to be available. And then if my buddy David, who owned the insurance company, if he called me because he would be busy, and if too many people were calling him, he would need me to cover one for him. So I had to just be available. And luckily, no one called. It must have been like a slow day, like a Tuesday or something. Where not a lot of people moving around. The concert was on Monday, and I was just like, ugh. But other than that, dude, I don't.
You know what I do on the way back from Austin when I can't stay? I start punching my leg like that. Which to passerbys, it probably just looks like I'm jacking off slowly. Yeah. But I'll punch my leg harder and harder.
You got a hammer.
It's a log jack. Yeah. Punch your leg. Slap yourself.
Hold on, dude, man.
Get some needles and then stick them in your balls.
Hello?
That'll help keep you awake.
Yeah.
They searched the whole vehicle. That took like about an hour, man. And we just got released, but I'm still going your way.
About how far away are you?
It says I am. I'm not familiar with this area.
Okay, well, I'm doing my podcast. You're on my podcast, dude, so everyone knows you went to jail now, bro. But I'm doing my podcast at my house right now, and so just when you get here, just shoot me a text that you're here.
Okay, I'm 53 minutes away.
Okay, perfect.
All right,
I'll be right there. All right, bye. Yeah, see, that was So my listeners out here want to know what that was.
He went to jail and got released that quick?
I guess so. It sounds. Well, I guess if they took him and didn't find anything.
Yeah. They just pulled him over.
It's a tattoo artist coming in from Corpus to buy a new machine from me.
Yeah.
$1,500 machine. He's a good artist.
What's so special about this machine?
It's a new FK Irons Flux.
What does that mean? Like it doesn't hurt your wrists?
No, it's just called a Flux. That's just the name. But it's FK Irons. It's a brand. It's just like saying, no, it's the new Versace.
I sat in this tattoo chair specifically for tattooing. Man, like this girl had like, it was like contoured to your legs and your lower back.
Oh, yeah. They have the Kingpin ones.
Yeah.
Or the Tat Soul ones. You know, some of them are, $1,500, $2,000. A chair and everything can move different, Yeah, and it's great if you could buy those, but not everyone needs those. And you hope because like if I buy them from my shop, which I'm going to eventually buy some.
Because your back could start hurting.
But these dudes don't respect all of them. You got to have a dude that's going to respect what you just bought for them. That they're not going to be in there sitting on it with their keys in their wallet or whatever they have and not keep it, They keep them clean and wipe them down, yes.
Yeah.
But just some of them are just sitting on them all day long, and then you just that's not for you to be sitting on. That's for the client. You have your chair, and they get ruined. And those things aren't cheap, bro. They're fucking expensive. So I
feel bad. I was wheeling around I was like, wee.
Yeah, well, this dude, he's on his way since this morning to buy that machine, and I was wondering, he was supposed to be here by 11, and then we're gonna do the podcast. And so I was calling him, he wasn't answering. So apparently he went to jail. And now he's back on the way over here. So, I got to still try to look out for the dude. That sucks. But at least, hey, if you go to jail and get out that quick, I'll take it. I never get out that quick.
Damn, to drive all the way up from Corpus to get it. Like
it's a badass machine, dude.
Yeah.
It's and I'm the guy that carries it.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah,
it's not like a special order they can get.
Yeah, and because you can, I'm the rep for Kingpin Tattoo Supply.
Yeah,
Kingpin is in Austin, Florida, and California.
Yeah.
So and that whole overnight shipping thing, it doesn't exist really anymore. It's hard to get over. If you can order overnight shipping and they go, okay, it'll be here in a week.
Yeah.
So they always ask me, man, it's in Austin. Could you bring it? And the dude's like, I'll come to you. And I'm like, oh, I got it, dude. It's one of those things that you can't find them. And that's cool because, I'm the guy. Man, we had one of our drivers died.
Fuck. Driving?
No. Well, shout out to Robbie Short, RIP. He was one of our drivers. And I guess he had a lot of medical issues where he kept missing work. And so... And it's a job. They need you there,
Yeah.
And they wouldn't fire him. I think he had missed like weeks of work. Not just, a weekend here or there. He had missed, I think it's like 6 weeks of work. And they still hadn't fired him. And then finally they gave him the ultimatum, like, if you miss any more, dude, we're going to have to get... Actually, they didn't even... They gave one of the warehouse workers, it was a backup driver guy, his route. So like, since you need to take care of your stuff, this guy's going to drive now. He's going to get your route. And he got upset about that. Because he had told me, man, that's not cool, man. I've got this medical stuff I'm trying to take care of, and they're going to give my route now to someone else. And, well, yeah, bro. This is a job. They need someone to do it.
Yeah.
And if you can't, you should understand that someone else has to do it. So but I guess he wasn't getting it. He's only like 38 years old.
Been there a long time?
No. About a year. He was, so he was one of the newer guys. I've been there 10 years. So, about a year. And, but, cool dude. Austin dude, all tatted up.
Yeah.
38 years old, and I think his father had passed away because he had gotten some kind of inheritance, I'm talking about maybe 100,000 or a little less. So he was saying that he was thinking about quitting since they were taking his route and having him work in the warehouse only, that he was going to buy his own van and start delivering supplies on his own.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be our competition,
Yeah.
And so he quit, and apparently he went and bought a van and was going and driving his old route that he did with us, but just going with his van. And I don't know where he bought the supplies from now. It wasn't from us. Because they weren't going to supply him to be our competition.
Yeah.
And because they heard what he was talking about doing, he was going around to the shops first and telling them he was going to start a business.
Yeah.
Trying to take orders from them. Like, what do y'all need? I'll get it. and word came back to us, and so they were like, "Fuck that." So now he's on bad standings, you know.
Yeah.
And they said that he bought a van, was doing supplies and all that, but someone was trying to get a hold of him, and he wasn't answering his phone, and they went to his apartment, I guess, in Austin to check on him, and they were knocking on the door. The van and his car was parked outside, and no one was answering the door. And they called the cops, and they got the manager to open up, and they found him in there dead.
Overdose?
Don't know.
Oh.
Don't know yet. No one knows yet. They just know they found him in there dead. I don't know. I know. I mean, I'm not trying to. I think he had mentioned that he was having blood clots, and that was part of the reasons he was going into missing, because he was getting blood clots, and they were having.
Oh shit!
So it could have been a blood clot, man. You know, I hope he didn't overdose, dude. You know, I hope he didn't. That's not his fucking way out. But you know, either way,
it does. A person who goes and takes their inheritance to invest in their own business doesn't sound like a person who's gonna also go do
trying to overdose.
Yeah,
trying to overdose on drugs either.
So
he was trying to. He had long-term goals.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he had long-term goals.
Because then he would have just bought drugs. He wouldn't have bought the van.
Yeah, he would have been like, "Fuck a business. I could sleep now all day. I got money, and I could just lay here."
Yeah.
So he was trying to do something. The way he was going about it wasn't he. You know, it was so weird though. When
people get mad. You know what? Also,
but
38's the midlife crisis.
Yeah, but you know what's weird though is he never wanted to show up to work, but yet he was going to start his own business, and then now he's going to go to work on his own. Like, you weren't showing up, and now you're mad. Like, what are you going to do now? What if this is your business now? So what if he did that and he didn't die?
Yeah.
And now he's got to go to all these doctor's appointments, and he would be like, "Hey, Josh, you know, or get a friend, whatever. Hey, can you drive for me because I got doctor?" And then this dude just was not going. You'd be mad at him, and you'd be like, "Hey."
He didn't think of that.
He doesn't see it that way until you are the business owner. That's because I've seen...
that fucking sucks right now, where it's like, I want to take time off, and it's like, I can't.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I try to, and then I'm trying to train other people, and
people don't get it, the what you're doing, or I guess your work ethic, or what it means to you to have this business and do what you're doing, and you can leave it to someone that you can just walk out the door and feel confident that it's going to run with this dude just as well as it would run if you were there.
It's what's crazy, because it's a lot of like, well, would you do that? And it's like, yeah, I would. That's why I take out the trash. That's why I mop. That's why I clean the bathrooms. Yes, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
It's hard to find people that feel that way also about your job.
I don't ever expect any person that works with me to care about it as much as I do. I just hope that they respect what I'm doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the customers that I have.
And that's hard, because they usually
it's
don't.
Hard because they're friends.
Like, you know, it was tough. I worked for a friend of mine who started a carpet cleaning business. Mm-hmm. And he had a bunch of brothers younger brothers. He was the oldest. So he had like 1, 2, 3, like 4 brothers that I think he had working for him. And I worked for him too, and another friend. And this dude would buy the best new equipment that came out to clean carpets, and the best stuff. He bought some nice. Now I went with him to buy it.
Yeah.
And then his brothers would go, and they would just throw it in the van, like, just, you know, and just they would do stuff where I'd be like, dude, that, you know, you're just beating that shit up. And I saw how much he paid for that, and I saw how the dude that sold him on it was like, dude, this is the best, this and that. But my buddy was always busy doing all kinds of stuff. And so he wasn't, you know, and he was making money somewhere else.
That's why I stopped letting people just rent out the studio when I'm not there, because I'd come back and something would be fucked up. Something would be like all of a sudden XLR cable don't work. All of a sudden, you know, the settings on this.
But I didn't do it. All I did was just plug it in.
Yeah, exactly. And it's just like, or like the chairs are messed up, or there's food on the floor, and it's like,
and you're the one that has to deal with it.
And you know what it is? Yeah, exactly. And it's because it's weird. If I'm there, the podcasters won't do that. But if another producer is there, they don't respect that producer, because apparently you got to talk shit and look down on whoever the producer is and make fun of them. And so,
really,
that's a big thing in comedy, where
to shit on the producer,
to shit on the producer,
to shit on Jamie, who created that.
A lot of these like newer podcasts, it's not necessarily like you're a piece of shit, but very much like you're the butt of the joke. We're gonna make fun of you.
Really? Huh?
Yeah, because I've had it to where people have done Willful Ignorance and they think I'm the producer and it's Raul and George's show, and I'll say stuff and then they'll start trying to clown on me, and then I make it. It depends.
Like you mean the live guest?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And then, I've done other people's podcasts, and they assume that, and I made it. Poor Davey. I made it really weird on his, because the guy came in. It's in my house, and he comes in and automatically starts clowning on me. I was like, "What the fuck?"
Like what kind of clowning?
I said, "Oh, would you like a water?" But I said it like, I wasn't like, "Hey, yo, you want a water?" I was like, "Hey, would you like a water?"
Yeah.
Apparently, he's kind of a street dude, and he was
Who's this proper bitch?
And he's very much, he'd be like, "Hey, you can't talk to me unless your dick past your balls." And then they all laugh. And I'm like, okay, well, all right. And so Davey starts the podcast. And he's like, "Hey, welcome, da da da. And I'm here with producer Josh. How you doing, Josh?" "Good." And then I switch back to him, and everybody's like, "Oh," and we're live. And
were you pissed though? Were you steaming? Were you kind of mad? Like, all right.
No, I was very like, I'm not going to play this. Fuck this, and now you're gonna get me. You're gonna get this now.
So you were kind of mad though.
Yeah. I'm in my house. Like,
yeah, no. I didn't ask why you were mad. I was just saying I understand. Were you mad or what was your? I was trying to see what your emotion was.
Yeah, I was.
Oh, were you just trying to be like, I'm gonna fuck with him? But you were actually literally like you were really angry about like.
I felt disrespected.
Yeah, disrespected.
I felt disrespected, not mad. Like I'm gonna fight you.
Like these dudes aren't taking me serious.
Like I'm not like that, and I wouldn't have fought the dude. Dude was fucking massive. I'm not gonna, but at the same time, I'm like, now we're live, and.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be the butt of the joke.
I will run circles around you motherfuckers. Are you serious?
And now they stepped into your arena too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I felt like. But luckily I guess they
caught it.
They caught it. And then the podcast went great, because all of them went, like, their eyes got big. They're like, "Oh shit." Like, ooh. I was like, "You want to play the awkward game? Let's fucking make it real awkward."
I didn't know that was a thing, but
yeah,
there is I guess it depends on who you're the school of. The comedian, was he this dude a comedian or
No.
what was he?
He was a bodybuilder stripper.
A bodybuilder stripper. So he probably had an ego like everyone.
Yeah, he's a big dude. He's a big dude.
A lot of that doesn't mean anything. I mean, because you could lift weights. And yeah, I'm sure the motherfucker's strong.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make him just fucking a badass fighter and a rowdy dude and a lot of heart. Because,
Yeah.
He could be all of that, but it just doesn't necessarily, and it's very deceptive. Because you see it in prison.
Mm-hmm.
You see it in prison. And the dude said, "You're fucking jacked, dude."
Yeah.
Fucking jacked. And some of them just genetically didn't know that they were going to get that jacked when they started working on it, so they just get fucking swole. And then all of a sudden they start thinking, now I'm tough.
No.
And then
it's a good deterrent, though.
Oh, yes. You're physically and, visually you see that and you go, "Fuck, I want to fuck with that dude."
Yeah.
But I saw, like I tell you, in jail, this dude that got, I ain't going to say he beat my ass.
Yeah.
But I definitely didn't win this fight.
Yeah.
And this dude was a fucking heroin addict, bro. Yeah. He was like
just wiry.
Very wiry. He was like about as tall as Jacob Flores, so maybe, like 5'11", almost 6 feet tall, but just a thin, he'd been in jail for a while, so he had already gotten the heroin out of his system. He was back eating and was gaining his weight back, but he was still a skinny dude, real long, lanky.
Older guy, right? You said?
No, we were probably about the same age.
Oh.
But this dude had been to prison 4 times already.
Yeah.
This was my first time, and
you called him a bitch?
Yeah, I called him a bitch while we were playing dominoes because he made a comment about me having long hair and how pretty it was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Playing. We were cellies. Like there was 8 people in a cell, and then there was a couple on the floor, so like 10 of us in the same cell. But so we weren't like enemies and had this thing or anything. We were playing dominoes and just got to shit talking, and he made a comment like that, trying to be funny, and I called him a bitch.
Yeah,
which was not the go-to word I should have chosen right out the gate. And I knew right when I said it that it was time to fight.
Yeah.
So he said, "What, man?" And he had to. So he jumped back. I jumped back because I had long hair and I had a rubber band in my hands and I went to put it in a ponytail real quick. And when I went like that to put my hair in a ponytail real quick to get ready, when I put my hand back, he just fucking jumped out with the jab.
He closed that gap quick.
Bro, we were across the domino table.
Yeah.
The table like that. So he stepped around and I stepped and I took one step back because I knew we were to put my hair back and he jumped forward and pow, dude. And he caught me right in the fucking mouth, dude. I remember I thought he knocked my tooth out, bro.
Yeah.
He stung me, dude. Boom. And so I ran at him like I was going to fucking throw a punch. And right when he put his hands up high, and since he was tall, I just went low to grab him and put him on his back. And when I grabbed him, he grabbed my hair.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he grabbed my hair like handlebars, bro. Yeah. And I still remember that, my neck cracking. I remember just hearing it crack, and then he fucking he slammed me down when we had stepped over by the showers, so there was a little bit of water.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I had kicked off my sandals or had them up, but I remember slipping and him throwing me pretty much, but I was sliding till I couldn't get any traction. Boom, slammed me down on my back. And so I was going to grab his feet. I was still trying to scramble to get his legs out from under him when the guards they started yelling, the Hoodas are coming, the Hoodas, and fucking the cops come running in. And I fucking jumped right up and ran into the shower stall.
Yeah.
And there's a curtain, and boom, I just popped right in there, and I don't know where he went, because I just ran in there and acted like I was going to take a shower.
Yeah.
And then the guards came in, they were like, "Hey, come here, Hernandez, get out of the shower, come here." And I was like, fuck. And so I walked out, and my mouth was bleeding, I guess. And then y'all come here, and they called us out into the hallway, and what's going on? Nothing, man. We were just playing around, and I slipped because of the water and this and that, and I hit my mouth on the thing, and they were like, "No, y'all good?" And yeah, we're good, right? And we shook hands, right there, and they were like, "Get the fuck back out of here. If we see y'all again, fucking blah, 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 we're going to lock y'all up." So they just let us right back in. And then so I was like, fuck, and so everyone was looking, and then I went over to the cell, and then one of the other cellies, he was in wetback from he was from Mexico, but he was older. He was a swole, older dude, fucking all ripped. I'm going to guess he was probably like in his 40s.
Yeah.
And, because he had some gray hair, but he was from Mexico, and he was like, he didn't speak any English. And they called me Cartucho.
Why?
Like that's a bullet.
Why'd they call you that?
Because I was a little ripped dude that was always fucking doing push-ups and all this stuff, and I was real fast. We played handball, and they would call me Cartucho, and he was, "Hey, Cartucho, vente para acá." And he was just like, "Hey, este pinche puto, siempre quiere jugar." Like, this dude's always trying to play, and then he gets mad if he gets there. And pretty much he was saying that he kind of like punked me. Like he didn't, I was, like if I was the weaker dude and knew that this dude fucking took advantage, and started this fight with me because he could beat me up or whatever. I think I could have got him maybe.
Yeah.
Well, let me, okay. Then I did.
Yeah.
And then that dude was asking me if I wanted him to go kick his ass. And I was like, yes, I do, but no, I'm not going to tell you that. Then I'm going to look like your bitch.
Yeah.
Fuck, yes, I wish you would just go find your own reason to kick his ass, but not because of me.
Yeah.
So I was like, nah, dude, nah, for whatever. And then that dude came to the cell and he was like, "Hey, bro, bro, you called me a bitch. I didn't have a choice." And I was like, I get it, bro. Well, let's not go there anymore. Don't play with me like that. I said, "Well, you fucking said that, well, and we squashed it. We weren't.
All right.
And then this dude got there, this black dude got there from, he said he was in some gang, Chicago, Chi-Town. That's what they call him, Chi-Town. He looked, I'm going to say now, like Tupac. Fucking all prison tatted up. Like this dude had been down, ripped. Just fucking ripped, dude. About the same height as that dude, but just like a fit ass motherfucker, dude. But all prison gangster tatted out.
Yeah.
Talked all this stuff about Chi-Town, the gangs he was in. I think Gangster Disciples. I think he said he was a GD, I think. Well, I was saying all this, dude looked rowdy as fuck. Oh, but always talking loud, playing dominoes and spades, and just always hollering. When him and that dude that I got into a fight with started arguing, and I was like, "Ooh, shit, let's see this. This dude's gonna get him for me." Now I'm gonna be like, "Yeah, this dude's gonna give him the ass whooping I wish I could have given him."
Yeah.
They jumped back off the table, and that dude, Rory, his name was Rory.
Yeah.
That I fought with. He fucking jumped up, and that dude was like, "What's up, man?" Talking about, bop, bop. Rory just started piecing that dude up, dude. Bop, 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 bop. And that dude like tried to put his head down and tackle him. Rory backed up and bop, 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 bop. Boy, he had some hands, bro.
So you're lucky you didn't fight him.
I'm lucky, bro. I got off easy, dude. I got off with one fucking one jab and a slam on the ground. This dude, he pieced this dude up. Yeah, he boxed. It turned out the dude used to box. And he'd been to prison so many times, and he fought a lot, dude.
Yeah.
This dude was always in that world, and he pieced that dude. This dude was selling it real well, and this dude wasn't buying it, though.
Yeah.
Rory pieced him up, bro. I was just like, "Ooh, get him, Rory." Like, that's my sparring partner.
We fought before.
Yeah.
It was a draw.
Me and him, he didn't get me that bad, bro. Like,
Shit.
Dude, he fucked that dude up, dude.
And what happened after that? The guy keep going after him?
Oh, fuck no. That dude, they moved him out of this fucking tank, dude. He got his ass wore out. And
that bad? He got beat up that bad?
Oh, he got beat up, bro. He was fucked up, dude. Yeah, he fucked him up, bro. He was all beat up, and he let him move him, you know?
Yeah. Fuck.
It was Midland County Jail. Midland County Jail was wild, dude.
Yeah.
I saw this one dude.
So after that, everybody's like, don't fight that guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, no, they were just like,
I really have to.
You don't say it out loud, like, don't fight that guy. You're just in your head, you're going, oh, dang, I don't want to fight that dude. You know, like, fuck, that dude, he had some hands, bro. And then I saw another dude, this dude they call Boxer. I told you, he beat up this dude, Junior.
Were you the one telling me about the guy that used to do, like, karate or Muay Thai out?
Yeah, there was a dude, Barry Byers.
It's always the white guys, huh?
Well, he was a Native American Indian.
Oh, wow.
White guy.
Yeah.
Barry Byers. Cool ass dude though, man. He was kind of a big dude, and he said he was a I don't know if he said kickboxing champ, or he had a belt in some kind of martial arts. And this is the 90s. This is before UFC and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it was even called MMA. There wasn't even mixed martial arts. You were either karate or a judo dude or a this or a that. There wasn't like the guy that just did them all.
Mix.
Yeah. So this dude, Barry Byers, and he would go out. He had a photo album showing that I think it was either him with the belt or him fighting the guy with the belt in Australia and all this stuff. And so like he was legit, and then he proved it because dudes wanted to try him. Yeah, and he would because he was always out on the rec yard doing his forms.
Yeah,
you know, doing that, and then he was doing all these stretching that he was still flexible, and he wasn't that young of a dude anymore. Like he wasn't fighting competitively anymore, and
so it sounds like he wanted somebody to come challenge him.
No, he did not.
He didn't.
He was just trying to stay in shape like everyone else did. That was his way to work out.
Yeah.
Like we all worked out on the weights. He wasn't out there trying to bench everyone. He was doing his stretches and his forms and staying in what he did. And so people would watch him, and it was this one big black dude that tried him.
Yeah.
Over a domino game.
So he's
over
dominoes.
a blanket.
So he's
over where it was because this one Mexican dude had put his blanket over the table, so when you slam it, you're not slamming it on the metal, blam, all loud. It's on the blanket.
Yeah.
And this Mexican dude had put his blanket over the table and it played. And then you lose your seat. If you lose, you got to get up in the next people's place. Well, I guess the Mexican dude had lost, had to get up. So other dudes were playing on his blanket. And he said, hey, I'm not going to play anymore. Let me get my blanket.
Yeah.
And go. And that dude was like, nah, dude, you're going to wait.
Yeah.
And then one dude, just tried to punk him. He said, nah, you're going to wait till we're done. He said, nah, bro, I'm taking my blanket now. And then they jumped up to fight. And that black dude kind of wore out that Mexican dude. And that Mexican dude was pretty big too.
Yeah.
When that dude Barry got up and said, hey man, just give that dude his fucking blanket back, bro. What the fuck? You're gonna fight him over. And he's, I've been wanting to try you. And that's when that dude, because he had just got the best of this dude, and now he turned around and was like, what's up? You want some too? And he was wrong. He didn't want any. Because that Barry said, oh yeah, you sure you want to do this? And then the guards came in because they were fighting.
Yeah. The guards are like, we're going to watch this.
No, the guards came in and were telling everyone lay down, and everyone had to lay down. And
those two weren't laying down.
Those dudes didn't lay down. They were telling them lay down, and they were squaring off.
So what happens if you don't lay down after? Do they tase you after a while? Or they just wait till
no, they don't have tasers. They didn't have tasers in there.
They throw rocks at you.
Mm-hmm. They send in the dogs.
What? Nah. I was like, what?
They would. Usually you're gonna go down, but while they're fighting, they wait till kind of like the hockey.
Especially if you have a weapon.
No, if you have a weapon, they won't even go in. I think protocol is for that is they won't even go in the tank
until the weapon's down.
Until you're down on the ground with that weapon. But that dude started squaring off with Barry, and Barry was like, "Are you sure, dude? You want to do this?" He was like, "Are you ready for this?"
And everybody can hear. Everybody's on the floor, like looking.
Yeah,
up.
everyone's just laying on the floor. They're like that. And the dude's like, "You ready for this? Are you ready for this?" And that like, come on. And that dude fucking, what did he do? He just went like pop, 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 like real quick. He pop, 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 and that dude was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
And then whack, he fucking kicked him, and then he fucking said, "Are you ready? You ready?" And he fucking threw a fucking kind of roundhouse kick, whack, and kicked the dude on the side of the face. And the dude like rushed him, and they went on the ground, and that. When they hit the ground, Barry had this dude's arm already and fucking had his arm locked out.
Oh, shit. So he was.
Yeah, he was legit. And he had that. And then when they were down and that dude, then they fucking, the guards.
Did he break his arm?
No, he didn't break his arm. But he was legit. But then they told him also that he couldn't do that stuff out on the rec yard anymore.
Yeah, because people want to fight, you know.
Dude, I remember there was this white dude. He was a cool dude, man. He would come and talk to us, man. And he'd like, yeah, bro, I want to see my daughter. I'm supposed to get a visit, and my daughter this, and my daughter that, my daughter this. And then they call rec, right? Like it's right as he's telling us all this stuff, they call rec, are you going to play handball? Yeah, but they want me to take care of this shit first. And I was like, who? Well, my people. He was trying to get in with some group.
Yeah.
What? So we go out to the rec yard, dude. And this poor dude, bro, this fucking dude had just got there, and they tried to punk him. This white dude.
Check? Oh.
No, this white dude. They tried to punk him. They started telling him he was going to pay protection, or they were going to fuck him up. And he was in SAG because they didn't have bunks when you first got there. Yeah. Not because he had fucked up. So they put him across from like the gang people who were in there. The real dudes that were in SAG, and you just ended up there for a little bit with them, and then you were going to get moved out. But those people were staying there. So some dude starts trying to punk him. Tell him, who you with, bro? You better this. I'm so-and-so and this and that. And the dude threw warm water on him. Told him it was piss. That dude really pissed in a cup and threw it back on that gang member dude.
Oh, shit.
Yes. So that dude put the word out when you see this dude drop him.
Yeah.
So this poor dude, man, he first got into one tank, and they took him in the corner and they beat the shit out of him. And then I didn't know that. So we go out to the rec yard. That dude I was talking to, we get to the rec yard. We start playing handball. And I guess as they were letting out the other dorms, they let this other dorm out there with us. And he was like, oh, there's that dude. I got to take care of this. And we were like, what? And we're playing handball, dude. He goes over there, and that fucking dude, like, he just starts piecing this fucking dude up, dude. And lay down. And we're all fucking laying in there. Went the handball game. The fucking dude didn't want to fight him. The dude's running around trying not to fucking fight him. And this guy's punks chasing the dude around the handball, popping him and shit. And finally, they stop, and that dude has to lay down, and he goes to lock up. Then that dude, we're out on the rec yard lifting weights, and that fucking dude, there's that white dude, and he's all scared now.
Yeah.
He's out on the green lights on this dude. And so we're out on the rec yard, and I remember that dude was, I was on the curl bar. It's a machine, and there's a dip station. And that dude was doing dips, that dude that had already got beat up twice, and he jumps off the dip thing, and these dudes were playing basketball, right? And here's the rec area, and here's the basketball court. These white dudes are playing basketball. They run over here. They're running full court. They come over here. This dude's on the thing. He runs over here. As a dude jumps off the fucking dip station, this dude just fucking steals it from behind. The dude never saw it coming. It just, his fist comes around and whack. Boom, the dude just goes straight back in his head. Thunk on the cement, dude. Rowdy. Yeah. And that dude that hit him just turns around, and the guys playing basketball just throw him the basketball again, and he just runs off bouncing the basketball.
Yeah.
Back. So the guard was like looking around, and by the time the guard looks back, and now this dude's laying on the fucking ground. It looked like he was doing sit-ups. Yeah. He hit his head so hard, he was like this, like if he was trying to get up. So, and that dude's already running off, bouncing. So you didn't notice like anything even happened.
Yeah.
Dude's already back over there shooting hoops. This guy didn't even know who the fuck hit him.
Yeah.
And that guy's laying on the ground, and the guard went like this and looked at him, and then just, I guess he thought he was doing sit-ups, and just kept looking around the rec yard. And we're all standing there. I was just on the fucking curl, so I put the weights down, and that dude's there on the ground. I say, get up, dude. And I said, get the fuck up before we fucking go to lockdown, dude. Get the fuck up. So that dude fucking, and he was like, to me, I said, get up, dude. and
he thought you hit him.
No, I don't think he thought I don't know what he thought.
Yeah.
But I was with some other dudes lifting weights, and I said, "Dude, get up, bro, before we go to lockup." And I just went back to the weights again.
Yeah.
And so he got up, and he was looking at everybody like, "What the fuck?" And he just walked back up against the fence, and he got hit right in the mouth. So he was holding his mouth, and he was rubbing the back of his head where he hit his head.
Yeah.
So he was just like, dude, poor dude. He was just fucking scared, just looking around, confused as fuck. So we didn't get locked up, and then I heard that they jumped him again in the dorm, but he finally fought back, and so they decided to leave him alone.
Oh, they jarred something loose when he hit his head.
Well, you know what? You keep getting beat up, then they're not going to stop if they're not ever in jeopardy of fucking getting caught for fighting you.
Yeah.
You know, but if you fucking all of a sudden come back and throw some chingazos and the guards see you fighting, and then they're going to be like, what's going on? These dudes keep jumping me, or the fuck, these dudes keep attacking me, man. And I'm lucky none of that shit ever happened to me. I never threw piss on anyone like that.
Yeah.
But I always...
Well, so what could he have done? He could throw... Hey, it's piss, but it's water.
Well,
what is he supposed to do?
I don't know. Never happened to me. So I don't know what he was supposed to do, really. The white dudes go through a whole different experience. He could have said, oh, is that piss? Okay. Yeah. I'm going to I'll catch you.
Yeah.
I'll catch you. Whatever. We'll see. What's up, bitch? You know, you got down that time, but it's going to be worse when I catch you. It could have, and just plot. I don't know. My whole thing was like, I had a 7-year sentence.
Yeah.
I didn't have a life sentence. I didn't have a death sentence. But if someone put me in a situation where I thought they were going to try to kill me, I was going to try to get them first. That's all I was thinking. I never owned a knife in prison or a shank or any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew who had them and where to get them. But I always thought if someone is after me, then I'll get one and I'll
That's the scariest thing to me. Like people have, not that I've ever been shot. I have not. But it's like the stabbing just feels so much more just worse. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. But because it is worse.
Like
dude,
that,
did you see that
one
dude?
Is it Blood In? It's not Blood In, Blood Out. It's American Me, where they
stabbed the shit out of him,
and then they throw him over.
Yeah.
But the way he's just like, or that, or the other one, Son of Sam, where he's just going like that in the back, and they're tied up and they're like screaming. I'm like, oh
yeah.
fuck.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
I like how he said he'd be here in 3 minutes.
No, he didn't. He said 53 minutes.
Oh, 53 minutes. I thought he said 3 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember nothing about prison, but I remember the first time feeling the difference in power with somebody who could really hit versus somebody who hit hard, but it wasn't like this. Like I remember getting hit. It was my cousin's cousin. He was older, and we boxed, right? And we had little kids have 8-ounce gloves on. Mm-hmm. And me and my cousin would box, and he's only 2 years older and taller and bigger. So he knocked me out a few times. But I remember being like, I got hard because he hits me hard, and I'm still like, you know what I mean? And his older cousin, Beto, fucking, I mean, like what you say, pop, 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 pop.
Yeah.
Like, and then I remember just my head hitting the wall, just pop, pop, pop. And I slid down the wall. And I'm like, I must have been like 8 or 9, just, But that was the first time being like, oh, people have different power.
Oh, dude. I got
because he wasn't bigger. He was small. He was almost my size.
I got punched in the knee and almost got knocked out. Dude, and it wasn't even an intentional punch.
Yeah.
It was a fucking, but he went to slam playing spades, a big old black dude, and his fucking fist hit me. He went, pow. Man, I think I blacked out for a second, dude. Like, dude, that shit hurt so bad. I just remember, and it's weird because there's few things that I remember pains.
Yeah.
Do you remember like severe pains in your life that you've had? Yeah. And that's one of them. I remember, and seeing fucking like red and maybe black. Then I'm back. Like, dude, that one, when I did the splits trying to water ski and I tore my hamstring.
Yeah.
I remembered that one. Because that one hurt. When I wrecked my motorcycle and tore my ACL, MCL, I remembered that one.
What did you do when he hit you though, or when he tapped your knee?
Tapped my knee. I wish he had just tapped my knee. We were sitting, all of us on the floor in the cell, Indian style, in a circle at night after racket playing playing.
I believe it's
spades.
called crisscross applesauce now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Indian. So how
Yeah.
were you sitting? And we're talking shit.
Yeah.
CJ, that was his name. CJ. He was a black skater dude from Midland.
Yeah.
And he went, bow, and I guess he caught, because I think he was on this side of me. And he caught me like right here on my fucking knee as he did it. Pow, and I went, oh, dude. And he said, oh, and and I just remember like trying to act like it didn't hurt.
Yeah.
But I was already sitting down or else I would have fell down.
Yeah.
But I remember having to straighten my leg out and like, oh, dude. And just trying to, all right, I'm going to call my mom. Dude, I just.
Did it hurt? Did you hurt his hand?
Yeah, because I remember him going, oh, my bad. And he was just like, he went like, oh, man, yeah, I hit you kind of hard. And I was like, I'm good. Dude, I remember that. That one hurt, dude.
Do you think he just got you in the right spot?
So don't knock this table.
Yeah, I got my phone. Did he get you just in the right spot?
Yeah, and I wasn't expecting it at all.
Yeah.
At all. I was complete surprise. Whack! Just in the knee, like if someone just. But, when you're expecting shit, you could probably take it a lot more. I wasn't expecting it just to get whacked like that. But, because it didn't even hurt really when I got stabbed.
Your adrenaline was pumping.
Yeah, it was, but when I fell skating, when I fell backwards and sat on my back ankle.
Yeah.
And it tore all the ligaments in my right ankle.
Oof.
That was another one where I saw red. I specifically remember that.
The crunch.
I remember it was like I sat on a bag of chips because everything went in my ankle. And I thought it was my ankle breaking and the bone coming through my skin.
How old are you?
40. I had just turned 40.
Oof.
Because JD had just turned 20 and I had just turned 40. And I wanted to skate again.
Yeah.
And I went to the skate park.
First day back.
Minute. First hour, within the first, 20 minutes of there, because there's a trick where it's called a backside boneless, where you fly out on the top of the ramp and you land with one foot on the edge of the ramp and you're holding the skateboard in your hand and you have one foot on the board and you're holding it like that and then you jump back in. And that used to be my trick.
Yeah.
But you have to drop in and go, and I hadn't dropped in. You know what dropping in is, right?
Yeah.
And I hadn't dropped in years and I was like, I think I can still do this. And so I dropped in and I got the feel of it dropping in, and then I started going, oh man, I can do that backside boneless just to see how it feels. I wasn't gonna do it, because I didn't have pads.
Yeah.
And I was just jumping and landing. I was just landing like I was like, I could see myself jumping right back in, and my foot missed the edge of the ramp. So because you're supposed to go like this and land right on the edge and then jump back in. And it's better to go and land over here on the top of the ramp and then hop back in, but I slipped off like that, dude, and I sat right on this back foot. Everything turned red, bro.
Oof. I remember, I will always remember this arm breaking because it was 6th grade and it's lunchtime and then we go play football. They let us play tackle football. Well, they wouldn't let us. They just wouldn't say shit. Where they caught, somebody gets hurt. In fact, I'm the reason they had to stop playing tackle football because I broke my arm. And I caught the punt returner.
Fucked it up for everybody.
And I'm running it back. And this is all like dirt and grass. And there's like bumps and anthills and stuff like that, right?
Mexican soccer field.
And so I run it back and they tackle me, right? And when they tackle me, here I am. Here's the ball in my arm. And then there's like a little ditch, just a little bit.
Oh, and it went.
And for some reason, everybody decided.
Just pile on you?
Yeah. And
smear the queer, dude.
Yeah, that's what exactly. We played a lot of that. And
you
so
don't want to say it, smear the queer. You could say it on my podcast.
I know that's what we played. So
what'd you play?
Where they smeared me a lot.
Yeah, they're like, have the hoto.
And so it's like they start piling on me, right? Jumping on. Even my teammates are jumping on like assholes, right? And I feel the tension, and it's like I'm like it's. Like I feel it cracking.
Oh,
I feel it cracking. I go, get off. And then the last guy jumped, and everybody on the pile heard it. They go, ah. And I was like, oh.
So you snapped the bone in there?
Yeah, but it was under tension.
Yeah.
And I was like, get off.
Like
yeah.
If someone was clearing like that?
Yeah, trying to break it. I felt it.
Nice.
It fucking hurt so bad. And then when it popped, I thought I was gonna pick up and the bone was gonna be sticking out.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And that's when everybody was like, get off. And they got off, and I get up and I pick up my arm, and right here in the middle, it's like
you have another elbow?
Yeah. So it's this. So this hand's down here like that, and I'm like, oh, and everybody goes, oh.
Oh,
I remember running to the teacher, and I was like, oh, and I go, I think I broke my arm, and I show him, and he looks at it, he goes, oh, go to the nurse. Go to the nurse. He couldn't even look at it. And then the nurse is a bitch. And she goes, all right, well, she got hit. This girl got hit in the face with a volleyball.
Yeah.
And so she's sitting there crying, but nothing. I go, I think my arm's broken. They're like, you're fine. Go sit over there. And they put ice on it. And they call my parents, and my aunt finally picks it up.
They knew you had to go to the hospital.
And I'm like sitting there like trying, like I'm in shock, right? And I'm like shaking and shit. And then my aunt gets there, and I start bawling. And she gets mad at him because the nurse is like, yeah, he thinks his arm is broken. And she looks at me, and I go, and then she goes, you think? But also, I was the kid that would go every day to the nurse.
Oh, you cried
like,
wolf?
Who was like, I got a headache. I feel sick. I got a headache. I just didn't want to be at school. I wanted to go home so bad.
Dude, I thought that stress, in prison, another one in prison, playing basketball, fell. I told two in prison that I remember pains. I fell right under the fucking basket. Everyone like in a scramble for the ball.
Yeah.
And I fell, and this Shaquille O'Neal motherfucker picked up the ball and jumped, but off of my leg as I was laying on the ground, like sideways. And I felt that stress of, I thought my leg was going to break.
Yeah.
And he jumped up to like just jump straight up and dunk the ball, but he was standing, one foot was on my leg.
Yeah.
And he jumped, and dude, and then.
Did you get mad at him?
No.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a scramble. He didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah.
But it just fucking hurt.
Did he dunk?
I don't remember. I mean, I got up from under the basket limping like, what the fuck? Then that time, and then one time, this dude was falling out of bounds. Like, he grabbed the ball, and I was on him. Like, you know, and he was going to try to pass it to someone, and I knew he was going to jump up and throw it at my feet. So he jumped up to throw it, and I was good at dodgeball as a kid. So I went like this to catch the basketball, and it jammed my thumb. It just straight at hit my thumb straight up, pop, like fuck, like all the way down to the palm of my hand, dude. Like where it jammed my thumb so bad, bruised it that I couldn't lift weights. I couldn't do shit. Like I had to change everything.
It's this one. This one went bent back that way.
Oh, I did that. I forgot. That's another one in prison. Playing handball, I went like this to hit the ball, and my finger went in this dude's watch band.
Oh shit!
And he was in his left, and I went and I pulled it out. My finger was facing the fucking other way, and I grabbed it and popped it back in.
Yeah.
And I guess it broke my knuckle. It might or did something to my knuckle, but it's never been the same.
Yeah,
since
I think I've broken I've jammed every finger, but I've definitely broken two.
In your butt?
In my butt. My butthole got too tight when I came.
Jammed every finger in your butt. Yeah, but dude, it's weird now that I was thinking about it. I've got so many fucking injuries that a lot of them happened in prison. But this one, the only thing I've really broken is this.
Oh yeah, you can see knuckle.
Yeah, it's gone.
Did you hit something with it?
I got into a fight and hit someone in the head.
Yeah.
And immediately, that's when they call a boxer's fracture.
The knuckle is in the middle of your hand.
Yeah, it's right back here.
Damn.
Yeah, so that way when I miss them, it's like those razors that have double. So if I miss them with these knuckles, I can catch them with this knuckle.
That's crazy how the knuckle's right there.
Yeah, that's called a boxer's fracture. That's from hitting wrong from this side too much. And so it broke when I hit him in the head. And it broke and came back here. And I did this before prison when I was in my 20s. And when I went to prison, there was a dude that had the exact same thing that I saw. And he was going to have them fix it because he said it hurt him so much and he couldn't do anything. And they sent him off to the hospital, and he goes like, dude, if you cannot have the surgery, don't have it. He said they have to re-break it, and they force the knuckle back over here.
Yeah.
And all this shit.
That's crazy how your knuckle slides. Is the knuckle like a kneecap?
I guess, dude. I don't know how they do it, dude, but he had this.
It's like your kneecap being in the middle of your thigh. It's like, yeah, that's my kneecap.
Yeah. There's people that, I've met people that have split their kneecap, like skating. Ooh. Skating and BMXing, bro, there's a lot of injuries that you run across. And so I try to avoid those, dude, because I can't deal with one of those at this stage in my life. If I were to have him
his arm messed up. He's like limping
he's just getting old. If I when I tore my ACL, my MCL, and my meniscus, that was already.
That's your whole knee.
I know.
Damn.
I know, and that was 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm still recovering.
Yeah.
I'm still recovering. Like this shit hurts right now. My knee pops.
The rain and the
when I do squats and
yep.
and just different kind of leg exercise, I hear all that crunching in it and all that. It doesn't necessarily hurt, but there's this numb, weird feeling in it.
I remember my disc, the L5S1.
I thought you were gonna be. I remember my dick. I remember my disc.
I remember my dick. I used to have one.
Yeah.
The L5S1 exploded. That thing popped, and just all the shit that was in it, all the gel that's in there, and then it went.
So the disc itself didn't explode. The gel under it.
The gel all came out.
The cushion.
The cushion all came out. It fucking hurt so fucking bad.
So that's a ruptured disc, right?
It was a ruptured disc.
Are you blocking the stairs there?
Yeah. Am I? Oh, it's just one wire. He's like,
well, he might run it.
Hey, we're at an hour.
Are we at an hour?
Yeah.
Are we repping? So, I want to say, man, I just wanted to say I had some good shows in Killeen.
Yeah.
With Carlos Mencia last weekend. I'd like to thank Twice as Funny Comedy Club and Sharon over there, man. Those people were great, dude. They're really, really nice people to easy to work with.
Yeah.
No issues whatsoever, dude. They were just cool people, accommodating. I'd never been to that club. We did 4 shows there, and they've already hit me up to go back over there. And yeah, I'd like to, give a shout out to Twice as Funny Comedy Club. They were badass, dude. Also, y'all go check out my tattoo shop, man. On 402 East Travis Street. I have some new artists that are coming in. Gonna be guest spotting, and maybe some of them are gonna stay. But I got some different people that have been hitting me up to come in and work because they want to be downtown, because the scene downtown right now is
For tattooing?
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, no, because I'm just talking about the downtown, the ice skating rink's right across the street from my shop.
Oh, okay. It's just growing down there.
Well, just people are getting out. No one was moving during that heat wave of the summer.
No.
It was it was just dead. No one was out, dude. It was too hot. And it was so hot, no one wanted to get a tattoo because people were still going to the water and people going to the coast and all this stuff. So anyway, now, it's gotten cooler. They put that ice skating rink. It's crazy. All the lights are up. People are walking around downtown. And there's some movement, man. And my shop's right there in the middle of downtown. So anyone, y'all go out there, say that you heard about it from my podcast, and I'll give you 10% off of your next tattoo. We'll probably mark it up 20% and then knock it down 10. That's what they do over there. But now go check it out, man. Go check out my shop, and yeah, that's all I got right now. Keep watching my podcast. I'm gonna be bringing some new guests out. We are gonna do that Click and Clan series.
Fuck yeah.
So anyone out there that would like to do my podcast that knows what I'm talking about, I did talk to, I'm not trying to reignite any kind of beef. I just want to, get a good grasp and let people know what happened in our era of why. I'm going to learn some stuff too of why some people didn't like some people, or why some people didn't like me, or and didn't even know it,
Yeah.
But because I talked to a buddy of mine who had to move to Detroit because he shot someone 5 times back in the 90s, and it was self-defense. And he was a clanner dude, and that dude he shot was a clickster dude, and it created a whole lot of stuff, But he was telling me, he was like, man, that changed my life, dude. He was like, I had to move to Detroit, and I don't have very many friends in Detroit because I have my old friends back home. But the cops even told my mom that it was total self-defense, but the best thing he could have done was got the hell out of town too.
Yeah,
because he would have got shot next. But he was also saying, he said, I wish I had never done that, dude. He said, I feel bad for what happened, but the guy he shot had shot someone first. at a party, and then he pulled out his gun and shot that dude.
Killed him?
No, fucked him up though real bad, but he shot him like 5 times. And he was saying how he regretted it, but he was also telling me how he talks to some of those dudes that probably would have wanted to shoot him back in those days. And he goes like, I talked to this dude and that dude, and we're cool, bro. Like, we talk like every week now, and I never thought we would be friends, and we've grown up. And I'm like, yeah, that's who I would want to put on the podcast. People that have grown up and gotten, away from it, but know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
We know what we're talking about. So any of you out there, y'all can go ahead and on the comments or hit me up on social media, on my Instagram, Little Edward 1111 on Instagram, or hit me up on Facebook, Edward Hernandez Comedian, and send me a message, man, if you'd like to do my podcast and chop it up on here and talk about the good old days is what we'll call them. Yeah. So what you got?
Check out Black Rabbit, 5th and Brazos, doing shows Tuesday through Saturday, and
that's in Austin.
It's in Austin. And Creek in the Cave, I do a show there 10 p.m. every Tuesday called
That's in
Onslaught.
Austin.
That's also in Austin. And Battle of Sketches, if you have a sketch or a film that you'd like to submit, it is on Film Freeway. Go to battleofsketches.com.
Peace.